Minded Basketball Podcast, also known as the M.O.B Podcast. I am Evan,
Now I'm Ja.
and this is our basketball podcast where we recap, break down, and analyze players and teams from the previous games from the previous day. How are you? Start of the weekend, Saturday morning, Ja?
I'm cool.
Saturday afternoon, I should say.
I'm cool.
Cool. That's good. That's good. I don't know why you're so smiling like a weirdo, but I guess you're in a good mood. I'm good as well. I hope we're having a good day. I hope everyone will have a good day. Hopefully, everyone has a great start to their weekend. You know, enjoy your weekend while it lasts. You only have one more day after this, so do the best you can. Have the most fun you can.
Unless it's like you don't have a job or you're not at school or anything, then of course you got a lot of free time on your hand.
Yeah, in that case, do something. But all right, a lot of games happened last night. A lot of things happened in those games. A lot of interesting topics to discuss. So we go right into it. First, starting off with possibly the best game of the night. Last night, of course, this is a game that we were supposed to watch. So that was a treat to us. This was the Phoenix Suns and the Denver Nuggets, and this was an overtime thriller. A tale of two halves, I can say, to describe best for this game. The Suns in the first half just putting on an offensive performance. CP3 had like a passing just display. 14 assists in the first half. 14 assists in the first half. The Suns was clicking on all cylinders, and then second half hit, and the Nuggets just flipped the switch. They took off, got back into the game after being down 14, tied the game up, and was able to force it into overtime, and then close out the game with Jamal Murray's clutch dagger to seal the deal and win. Let me get your thoughts overall on this game.
Well, yeah, just like what you said, it was a good overtime thriller. The Nuggets came out with a lot of energy and heart. You could see how, offensively they had it clicking. Devin Booker was doing what Devin Booker does. He's one of the elite scorers in the game, despite being only 24, I believe. I like to say 24 going on 25. And and again, Ayton is looking good. He's looking good. He's finally getting a lot more touches, and they're helping him find his ways to get easy buckets. And as a result, you see it. He's putting on the display right now. He's putting on dominance right now on the inside. So so he's doing his thing. And Chris Paul, he's a legend. So I don't even got nothing else to say about him. We already know his status. And the Suns just had it going, and then yet the Nuggets in the second half had discipline defensively to prove who they are as a team. And despite being a young team, how good they are and how much experience they are in situations like these. We saw them do this multiple times now. This shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. Murray, even though I need Murray to just do more than just 18 points, I'll be fine with this because he is the main reason to why this Nuggets team came back in that second half. In terms of taking on that role right there, along with everyone else on the team. Like everyone else on the team had like a really good game,
especially Monty Morris coming off the bench, 17.
And Gary Harris, he gave us an efficient night too. So it was a whole team effort, and even though this has to be a stinger for the Suns because this is like one of the second games I've seen them in which this was their opportunity to take a win and they end up blowing the opportunity. I give a lot of credit to the Nuggets because this just shows who they are as a team.
Mm-hmm. Well, real quickly about the Suns, some things that we left out. Devin Booker got hurt that we assume in overtime because suddenly the Suns they took the lead and then they took him out the game when DeAndre had an and one.
Yeah.
And then he wasn't back in the game. So, and they saw it back, replayed it back, and it looked like he was limping. So I'm guessing that he got hurt. Hopefully he's good. Hopefully he's fine. So that's why he was taken out the game. And then the Nuggets, the Suns just couldn't score offensively, which that could have been a key reason because if Devin Booker's in the game, your offensive ability to score increases.
Yeah.
But I'm not giving that excuse because it was up 14. Also, they had a chance to get a better shot than they did at the end of the fourth quarter when sorry, who missed? Was it Murray that missed?
Yes, it was Murray that missed.
Yeah, Murray had missed. The Suns got the rebound. They had two timeouts. One, Chris Paul, who's shockingly, who's one of the smartest players in the game, didn't realize they had a timeout, got the ball and just ran up the court.
Yeah.
So I blame that one on him. And two, also on coaching. Monty Williams, what are you doing? I saw him just sitting down with the clipboard in his hand or whatever, not being aware. You should be getting ready to call timeout.
Yeah.
That's Chris Paul's fault for not being aware, and you can see that he's like, that's my fault because he's a veteran. He knows he's like I said, one of the highest IQs ever in the game, so he knows that he should have called timeout. Monty Williams as well should have called timeout. You're the coach. Like, you should be aware of these things when you have timeouts in your pocket, and instead of you have a player taking a half court shot, you call timeout as soon as he gets the ball, advance the ball up, draw a play up, and who knows? Maybe you can get a buzzer beating game winning shot. Who knows? But you
Exactly.
immediately eliminate chances when that just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that was towards the end of the regulation.
Yeah. And you need to, and that's a coach. It's not even just that. You said that he was sitting there on his clipboard. It's just like you're supposed to be standing up, screaming at your teammate. I said screaming at your players. Tell them like what kind of formation or something if you're not going to call a timeout. Well, obviously, the smart idea is to call a timeout, of course, if you want to draw something up for a likely chance to win the game. But
He was sitting down. Chris Paul got the ball. Then he started running down the court. Then I saw him stood up. I don't know what the situation. I don't know what happened. I don't know what that situation was. But that was bad management. Bad clock management.
I don't even know how to take this at this point. Like, you know what I mean? I don't even know. Cause I can't even say. I'm just gonna say this is just a bump in the road right now. That was just a weird bump in the, like a small bump in the road right there. I don't know what the hell just happened, but he can't do that next time. I doubt he's gonna ever make that mistake again. I doubt he's gonna ever make that mistake. That's all.
Yeah, hopefully not. But nonetheless, a disappointing loss for the Suns, who have been playing well as of recent late, even despite DeAndre Ayton's performance and their offensive explosion in that first half. They allow the Nuggets to come back, force it into overtime, and then win this close game. But hopefully Devin Booker's all right.
Yeah.
Because they're going to need him in the future. All right. And by the way, hopefully the Nuggets can now use this key big win because this felt like a playoff win. Hopefully they can use this and, push themselves up. I keep saying that every time they win, and then they just do it. They lose again.
Yeah. Yeah, but this could be a potential playoff matchup if these. Well, I felt like the Nuggets is gonna make it regardless, but if the Suns make it, then this could be a possible playoff matchup.
Yeah, but we shall see. We shall see.
Yeah.
All right. Earlier game that happened on national TV on ESPN featured the rematch from a couple nights ago, so the 76ers and the Celtics, and well, Jaylen Brown had an offensive explosion. You just talking about the Suns' offensive explosion. Jaylen Brown had 40, and he was just killing the Sixers just every which way.
Yeah.
Every which way he can. But one man can't do it all himself, and the Sixers proved that. As this was a great team win, and Ben Simmons coming up clutch in that fourth quarter, had 11 points to seal that deal and get this 2-game sweep against the Celtics.
Yeah, and I was happy to see that, man. I was really happy to see that because we went on him the last time about him needing to be more aggressive. And even though it took him until the fourth quarter, hey, at least he was aggressive at the right moment.
Yeah, he only had 3 points in the.
Yeah, he had 2 points in that beginning. Unless if he made a free throw, I just
I think he had like 3 or 4 points in that first half.
Yeah, he did not look like as if he wanted to be aggressive in that beginning in that beginning of the half. In the beginning of the game at all. And then but yet it didn't matter because even though Joel Embiid still started off hot, and
38 finished 38 in the game.
Yeah, he had 30 in the game, but he had foul trouble. And yet the common occurrence that we saw in last game happened in this game again, though. but yet with a little bit of differences like that, right? Like it was a close game. Boston had a good, comfortable lead at one point, and then second half hit, the Sixers just turned into like a freaking Ivan Drago whole fucking fiasco.
You,
And
how
like
many times you can say Ivan?
I'm just saying, like that's how they that's how they turned. That's what they turned into. They they looked at they again they this new system is working well. They look athletic. They look like they're spacing the floor. They look like they're finding shots and they're playing defense. Like when you have all of those clicking all together at the same time, like of course you're gonna bound to be having to have some kind of success. And that's what they did against this Boston Celtics team. They man down defensively and like they just did what they had to do and they came back. They came back and they closed out a game and was able to get the sweep against the Celtics.
Yeah, and B was very aggressive. He got a lot of foul calls, just like with last game. Some of which was really ticky tack fouls, but he does a good job of drawing fouls, even though some of them he be flopping. But I mean, he playing against Marcus Smart, so a taste of his own medicine. But once again, I'm gonna say they need to take him back.
Yeah, they do. They do. And there's no disrespect to Jalen Brown, but they do. If they want to, because they have a hard time maintaining leads and closing out games, especially against the Sixers team. So yeah, they do.
Yep. But nonetheless, a great win by the Sixers, who maintain their top position in the Eastern Conference. But all right, any games, any performances, any player performances that you noticed around the league that you want to talk about? Let you go.
I watched the Spurs versus Mavs game, and um, yo, stop, bro, come on.
I didn't say anything. I did not say anything.
I know you want to clown me because like you said, out of all these games, like you only watch this one. But let's be honest, it was a really good game. It was a really good game. Um, the Mavs went up big, and then the Spurs started to come back. But whenever it looked like that they got close to like wanting to take the lead or get to that point, the Mavs once again started to go into a big run. But it all became interesting in the fourth quarter when it became a close game, as both teams were trading buckets. But then in the end, I believe Luca and Trae Young. I said Trae Young. I mean Trey Burke. Trey Burke made some big clutch shots down the final seconds of the game to ice it out for the Mavericks to get the win.
Okay. Yeah, I guess a good win for the Mavericks. A much needed win by them because they've been really inconsistent with along with a lot of teams in the league now.
Yeah.
So disappointing loss by the Spurs, who've been trying to, get on a little hot streak now and then. And as I said, with a lot of teams, they just it's the level of play. It's like win and loss, win and loss, win and loss. For so
Yeah.
many teams, you've seen with the Nuggets, you've seen with the Suns, you've seen it with the Spurs, you've seen it with the Mavericks, you see with the Thunder, the Bulls, like just that, win and loss, win and loss. The Knicks, win and loss, win and loss. Like, I don't know what's going on. So many teams are 6-8, 8-6, 7-8, 8-7.
Well, I think it's just because of the time, the situation, and everything.
8-8.
I think it's gonna be like this. But don't worry. Again, just like what you said, this is where the time is like, things start to look more real. We start to see what teams are truly about it and what teams are just like, has just been faking it.
Mm-hmm. Well, one team trying to see if they're really about it is the Atlanta Hawks. And I mean, when you have Trae Young dropping 40, I guess no one can really doubt you. That is right. You heard me correctly. Trae Young had 40, and 40 of those, he had 43, and 40 of those points came in the first three quarters. Just an offensive display by Trae Young, similar to Jalen Brown, but more threes. Uh, just a dominant performance by him in this Hawks team. I mean, I'm not going to praise them too much. They beat the Timberwolves. A Timberwolves team without Karl Anthony Towns, even if Karl Anthony Towns was there, it still wouldn't be impressive. Timberwolves aren't that good. But we have to go over Trae Young's performance, of course. He's just a special talent. And he's been trying to lead this Hawks team right, into the future and possibly to a playoff run and possibly even more. But another performance Another game I should talk about, or we should talk about. The Nets played last night, trying to get their revenge against those Cavaliers that they lost to a couple nights ago with Colin Sexton dropping 42 in a double overtime game. In last night's game, Kevin Durant did not play, but I mean, you have Kyrie Irving and James Harden, so it should be no problem, right? Right?
Spoiler alert. It became a problem.
Yes, it did become a problem as shockingly the Nets lost again to the Hawks. I mean, the Cleveland Cavaliers in double digits. Just wow. I mean, yeah, you didn't have Kevin Durant. You lost with Kevin Durant.
Yeah, you did lose to Kevin Durant.
But either way,
it was a closer game.
Okay. So when you don't have Kevin Durant, you should probably lose to teams like, the Lakers, the Bucks, the Clippers, championship caliber teams. Not an up and coming possible team trying to get into the playoff contention.
Yeah.
That's how it should be, right? You're not supposed to lose those games, especially when you have Kyrie Irving and James Harden, right? Right?
No, you shouldn't. But hey, again, these teams, when they see a talented team like that, they come in with a chip on their shoulder. Like they have something to prove. They got to prove to the league. And some of them are just flukes because this is like no matter what, you're still going to be trash, but or not up to par with other teams. But there's teams like this, like the Cavaliers team, like got a lot of good young talent on their team that have something to prove with a chip on their shoulder. So of course, when you see guys like they're two of the greatest offensive scorers to ever play the game, and Kyrie and Harden, like playing on the team, then of course they're going to want to come with a chip on their shoulder. That's a juggernaut right there.
Yeah, Kyrie did have 38 in Colin Sexton, didn't have 42 in this game. He only had 25. But the role players came to play. Terry Prince and Jared Allen once again had a good game against this team. Jared Allen caught a poster, pull up the footage, or the poster caught a body. I'm gonna put that as my lock screen. They're jumping with 19 and 16. So I mean, the Cavaliers is just another great team play, and Larry Nance Jr. double. I mean, they all just firing on all cylinders. I mean, if you want to have a great offensive performance, just wait till you play the Nets. Because you're not gonna be able to stop Harden or Kyrie or Durant, but they're not gonna stop you.
Don't do it.
Listen, the Nets they gave up 125. I'm talking about the Nets with their big three, or with Harden. They gave up 125 to the Bucks, 142 to the Cavs in double overtime, and 125 to the Cavs last night. So that should tell you, their offense is obviously, is crazy, but their defense is just as crazy as their offense, just in reverse. Oh man. Of course, I'm making my jokes, but I'm not gonna do my little overreaction of, it's no time to hit the panic button. The Nets still the next. This is only literally in their second full game together because KD was out.
Yeah.
So they still need to get it together in terms of their team play and their system. Steve Nash has a lot of work on his hands. A lot of things to do in terms of this Nets team, but I have confidence in them. I mean, you have those players. You have a lot of great talent.
Yeah.
You have generational talent.
Yeah,
when you have those talent, you can do anything. So they're still championship contenders. They're still favorites in my eyes. No time to overreact.
Yeah, but look at though. Now we see which duo works better together. Kyrie and Harden can't coexist. That's all what the casuals are going to be saying.
The Casuals having a field day right now. They loving every second of it. What? Oh, they loving it. Oh, Giannis just lost the other night. Curry just lost to the Knicks. What? They loving every bit of this.
Giannis had 9 turnovers. Oh,
Oh yeah,
king that crown to
but you
himself.
know what? They upset because LeBron had a good game. Oh man. I think that's all for our performances. Oh, Michael Brogdon had a game winner against the Magic. It's funny how the Magic had a game winner the other night.
You just got
And then
Dame.
they lose to a game winner to the Pacers in overtime. That was a pretty good game, by the way. A really entertaining game. I thought the Magic had it in overtime. They were up, but yet the Pacers was able to stay in the game.
Yeah.
And a nice little play drawn up, a nice little dish to Brogdon, had space and knocked down a three with 2 seconds left, and that was it. Even though Evan Fournier had a good look late, but he missed the game winner.
Hey, throw it back to 94, man. That's what happens. So you don't got no Shaq and Penny, bro. That's what happens. You get hyper for the game winner, and then next thing, another team just comes back and chases right in your face for a game. Like
Yeah, almost like Nick Anderson missing 4 3 throws, and Kenny Smith knocking down a three. Well, with all that out the way, now it's prediction time for tonight's set of games. First, starting off prime time, Miami Heat up against the Brooklyn Nets. I think Durant is playing. Jimmy Butler's still out. I think Tyler Hero's still out as of this recording. So those are all the details in terms of injuries. So who you got?
I got the Nets. If KD's playing, I'm not. I'm not going to. And look at.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, I got the. It's just funny. They don't lose. They win now.
Just that the difference is this is a really good defensive team, so this could be a team that could limit them.
Hmm.
They can't stop. They're not going to stop the big three,
Nah,
but
they don't have Jimmy Butler. They need Butler to do all that.
I forgot.
So yeah, and I mean they just lost to the Raptors last night. So I got the Nets though.
They lost to Jurassic Park in Florida. That's crazy.
The 76ers or the Pistons?
76.
76ers. The Pelicans or the Wolves?
Pals.
Yep, Pels as well. Rockets or the Mavericks?
Rockets.
Mavericks. The defending champions up against the Bulls.
Oh, defending champions. I'm bugging. I was about to say something crazy.
Yeah, Lakers. I was gonna test myself, but nah. Oh, this should be a good one. The Warriors up against the Jazz. Remember, just a quick note about this game: the Jazz are on a 7-game winning streak, and Curry only has 3 threes left to pass Reggie Miller. So might be the night. Who you got?
Yeah, Curry could break his history, but I got the Jazz.
The Jazz have been on fire. I feel like this is a good test for both teams.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Draymond don't get a technical foul for yelling at Wiseman. But yes, I got the Jazz as well. And lastly, we just saw this game last night. It's the Nuggets against the Suns.
Suns need to come back. I'm going with the Suns, and they better not disappoint me because they need to come back big time.
Well, that all depends if Booker is playing.
Yeah. So if Booker is playing.
Yeah, if Booker's playing, I got the Suns, but otherwise, I've got the Nuggets.
Okay.
All right. Now I think it's time to wrap things up. Any final thoughts? I believe you want to say something about a certain player.
Yeah.
So I will give you the floor. Here, I'll even go full screen for you.
Like, man, I really feel bad for Blake. If you
Blake
guys
who? Steve Blake.
The dude that jumped over a car way back when.
Oh yeah, that guy. Blake Griffin.
If you guys don't know a little bit, let me just give a quick brief overview. Well, in a game against the Heat, with the Pistons versus the Heat, in the Heat's house, the Heat announcers basically was kind of like, yeah, it was kind of like doing vibes to Blake Griffin because he was struggling. He had another struggling game, and he's been struggling the whole season. And like, the Heat announcers are saying, I'm not clowning him or anything. I'm not picking on him, but like Blake Griffin, it has just not the same playing anymore whatsoever, anything. And it's just like, you feel really bad because this is a dude who's was You could you make the saying that he was one of the top power forwards of
Yes, yes, he was. Yes, he was. On the time when Aldridge, Love, and him.
yeah. So he was one of the best power forwards in the game at his best at his peak moment. He went against Braun, KD, AD, Tim Duncan, even though he was out of his prime in a way, like, but was still productive. He went against all these top dogs, like, you know what I mean? And he was holding up to his own.
Then got smoked by Zach Randolph.
Stop, stop it. Like, just to see from where he went like this to, like, I don't know. It's because of the fact of, I think it contributes to two things: the fact of injuries, because he's had to deal with a lot of injuries throughout his career, and along with the fact that he's probably still bitter about being traded from the Clippers, because I don't think he expected that. But, like, to go from this to being from like one of the best to, like, just looking like as if he can't even just play basketball a little bit or get on a hot streak aggressively, is just like, I feel bad for him. I don't think he deserves it, and I just hope he could turn it around, because again, we've seen him become a 2019 All-Star playing on this Pistons team because he diversified his whole skill set. He developed and made him more polished, in which now he could adjust to the game, and yet people don't even realize that. People don't like to acknowledge that, really, and they see him at his downfall now, and it's just like it's hard. So I just hope he gets back to what the new Blake is right now.
Yep, yep. That Blake Griffin right now, last night had 7 more points than we did. So,
Do that. Stop it.
so yeah, it is sad because you know, I like Blake Griffin a lot. I
Yeah.
think that a lot of people make fun of him and all that in his play and don't think that he's really good. And Blake Griffin was a player in which all he can do in the start of his career was just dunk and jump. And then over time, he's evolved his game into doing everything. And when I mean everything, I mean everything.
Yep.
Spot up shooter, take up the ball, pass, rebound. He's a better defender, better dribble moves, better handles,
Better
better
post.
post up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's evolved his game so much. And then now I don't know what's going on. I think it's just the system of Detroit. I feel like he should get traded to a championship contender or a playoff contender.
Exactly.
And then you'll see how well he can actually thrive in a better system.
Also, he need to grow out the beard again, man, because he was balling when he had he had the he had the like, it's been a long day beard, and he just went off. Oh man, but the dude who was one of the most exciting players to watch, man, and it's just like it's crazy how, like, people like the Heat announcers are talking about him like this is just like, nah, he don't deserve this, man. But I just wanted to say that briefly about him. I just feel bad. I wanted to talk about it because I want to remind people who he was and how, like, I felt like he could still have a chance to still do what he got to do.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right. And I guess we'll leave it off that. That being said, thank you guys for watching today's pod. Make sure you tune into tomorrow's podcast. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
And make sure you also follow our IG down in the description below.
And once again, I am Evan.
And I'm, yeah.
And this was the Mind of Basketball Podcast.